What's up, guys? Welcome back to Young, Hot, and Divorced. I'm Tori, and today I just wanted to start with what's kind of going on in my week. Something that has been very consuming this week is Taylor Swift dropped a new album. And if you know me, I'm a total Swiftie. I have a sign right here that I did not. Oh, there are like nails in it. I have a sign right here that I did not plant. It says I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art, and if you know, you know. But that's a Taylor Swift line. So Taylor released a new album, and it's funny because I feel like if you're a true Swiftie, you listen to these songs over and over again, and suddenly it relates, it resonates. Like every song just hits. And there were two that specifically gave me Young, Hot, and Divorced vibes, which were actually romantic and father figure, because like duh, father figure has this whole like I can do it with a broken heart vibe, tough bitch, I got this, like got the male role too, and could definitely relate to that. And then actually romantic is about, it's to me the little arguments that you or that I get into with my ex and then kind of just laughing it off. So those two songs gave me Young, Hot, and Divorced vibes. Personally, I loved the album. Obviously, I'm kind of biased, just like loving her so much. I think a lot of people can relate, and it was what I like to call happy music for the most part. So that was very exciting this week. We've had a couple of fun fall family activities. We went pumpkin picking and apple picking, and that was super fun. When I say we, I'm saying me, the boys, my boyfriend, and his daughter. So that was super cute. It's just nice that we're all bonding and getting into a familiar groove. The kids are getting super close. We're figuring out our roles as parents right now, dating and somewhat co parenting. You know, you just find yourself in these situations where maybe you're the only parent in the situation, like he's somewhere else or you're somewhere else. And you kind of sometimes have to discipline kids at this age. And just having a parenting style and integrating new relationships into your life is something that I'm going through right now that I think some divorced moms can probably relate to. But all that stuff is good. Today, I wanted to get into something. I recently turned 31, and it kind of got me thinking about where my friends are right now in their lives at the same or similar ages. What's interesting to me is there's such a range. So obviously, if you've been listening along, you know where I'm at, which is divorced twice by 30, two kids, kind of crazy. I feel like I accomplished a lot that most people might take like 40 years to do, you know, two marriages, a couple kids, I don't know, maybe less. But I have other friends, one in particular that I'm thinking about right now who recently moved back home. She moved back to our hometown just like I did, and we're raising our kids here. She also was a younger mom compared to the other girls that we grew up with, and it's so nice because she has a little boy, so we can really relate. We were definitely close growing up, but we've definitely become even closer, and I feel like it's so great to have her as an ally, kind of navigating the same thing I am in the sense that we are now moms where we grew up. So pretty crazy. She's going to have her second baby soon, and it's just exciting. It's exciting for me to see my friends going through what I've already kind of been through, and it's such an exciting time. I feel like I'm living vicariously, like I know what's to come. So I'm very excited for them. And yeah, just being able to relate to her about navigating the moms, what the culture is here like now. You know, it's been a couple years since we were here, so maybe a good decade. So things are a little different, but always the same. So that's somebody that has been coming to my mind lately when I think about where our friends are, because she is probably the closest to where I am right now. So the next one that comes to my mind, I think I'm like going through these kind of in order of like where my friends are, starting like most committed to like least committed, like relationship wise. I guess that's how we'll do this. So the next friend that comes to my mind is one of my best friends, and she recently found out she was pregnant. Like, This is so exciting. So she's been married for about a year, and I'm not going to give too much away because I don't think anybody knows she's pregnant. She's going to listen to this and be like, I know it was me. So yeah, she newly found out she was pregnant. She's been married for a year. And while I got pregnant much sooner into my marriage, I've just been living vicariously through her entire relationship with her now husband. I love him. He's awesome. Then their engagement. I just loved celebrating every step of the way with her. It was so exciting. And I'm like beyond happy, beaming for her. But again, she's just in a totally different place right now. Like she is just kind of catching up to what I've already been through. And again, it's just this great perspective of having already been through it and being able to feel that excitement and offer advice. I remember having nobody to ask because none of my friends had even come close to dating seriously or living with somebody or then having babies and getting married. So I remember I got a lot of my information during that time off of YouTube and just like other women online that had been in similar positions as me. And that's where I also find that social media and all of this, like my podcast, comes into play because it's just not always talked about or able to be talked about amongst your close physical friends. So I love connecting like that with more people. And this has become a really awesome way to do that. And I love finding out more about people that are in situations that are closer to mine and hear their perspectives. It's so funny because you know these people, but you might not have known that they were so aligned in what you were going through because it just never was mentioned. It just slipped through the cracks, but then it jogs their memory and they're like, oh, she's talking about this. Like I went through this and I got a little off topic there, but it's just always on my mind when I'm recording this because it's like the whole point. So, super scandalous. I just broke the news of my best friend's pregnancy. Shh. But this is so exciting for her right now. She's gonna do like the gender reveal and she gets to tell her parents in a fun way. And I just have loved celebrating every step of her entire relationship journey. And um, this is no exception. So that's my friend that's like there. And then I have one of my best friends again who has been engaged for a little bit now. Not sure exactly how long it's been, but they've been dating and living together for a while. She's in like the wedding planning stage and she was in my wedding and I loved going through all of it with her and now seeing her, she has a completely different like vibe and personality to me. So like she wouldn't do things the exact same way that I did, but like I love that I know her and I know her style and it's still very exciting to see her go through this stage of life where she's planning her wedding, she's engaged, we're celebrating all of these things. I think this is such a fun time in your 30s, early 30s, because so many people are going through so many things that are so celebratory. Like everyone's getting engaged, everyone's getting married, everyone's having kids. And like, while I got a little itch. While I can see that it might be hard for some people who are comparing themselves, I have such a different perspective. Granted, I've had the opportunity to go through these things, but I'm sure anybody else who wanted to can adopt this perspective that how awesome is it that we are celebrating so many good things? I think that, as you go through life stages, eventually by the end, everyone's dying. So to appreciate the stage we're in right now, I think is super important no matter where you are. I mean, look at me. I am where I am. I'm still smiling. So I think if you're single or something, you'll probably be able to do it too. Take my word for it. So that will bring me to my last friend that I feel like is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, but I love that for her. I really do. And she is nowhere close to getting married, has never been. She moved from where we live to LA and she's started a whole new life there. And she just lives a different lifestyle that I am honestly envious of. Don't get me wrong, I couldn't do it myself, but I'm so proud of her. I've seen so much growth from her, and she's clearly so happy, and she's like living her best life. She has so much fun. She is celebrating life. Like, she's going to all these restaurants and she's doing all of these things with fun people. It's like a group of people that are all on the same wavelength as their similar ages, and they're not really doing the conventional thing. And I admire that. I really do. I see so much happiness from her in that it makes me easily support her choices. I mean, what more do you want than seeing your friends happy? And even though that's not like a typical milestone, I still celebrate that for her. That makes me so happy that she has this beautiful life in LA that I definitely don't have the opportunity to have. And that's great. She's not where I am, which is divorced with 2 kids. And I'm not where she is, but we still love each other so much and we're still so connected. It's just interesting to see that you can still be so connected with people who are at different stages of life. I now have a different group of friends in addition to my OG group of friends that are probably in the range of, let's give it like 10 years older than me. And I love them too. I definitely have a different perspective with them, as in, we're raising kids that are exactly the same age, and that definitely bonds you in some sort of way. There are some moms of multiples that I really connect with. There are moms who have older kids that can offer perspective that, like, I'm giving to my friends now. And I so appreciate that, not really having that going into this experience. But once the kids start school and you have that socialization, it really opens a whole new category of friends where you're with other women who are exactly in the same spot of parenting. And I think that by that stage in your life, that's kind of dominating your social interactions and basically your entire life. So that group of friends is super important. I think that obviously I have, and hopefully you have, like, your OG friends and are able to celebrate where they are in their lives right now, but also a group of friends that you might not have that history with, but you have such a strong connection because of your shared experiences. And I think that I have an even stronger connection with a couple of single moms in my situation. Everyone in this situation is older than me. I would literally love to meet another person who has been divorced twice before they turn 30. I mean, it's just such a what's the word for it? It's probably just such a small percentage. Similarly to wanting to know if anybody knows any Irish twins that ended up in the same grade, because I haven't come across anybody with that situation yet, but I would love to connect with somebody who has that similar story too. I'm sure there's somebody out there for both. I mean, personally, if you're watching this podcast or listening to it and you know of anybody or think you might know somebody who knows someone, dying to know. So please reach out on behalf of me. Something I always say is that it truly takes a village. And personally, with me growing up, it absolutely took a village. There were friends of my parents, parents of my friends, other adults in my life that were so instrumental in my life that it's amazing to have all of these friends now that are in my children's lives. And whether that be the friends of the parents of their friends, having this love for them, knowing me and having a love for me is such an amazing thing. I didn't experience this until I had been through everything that I've been through, and I'm so grateful for that level of connection. I'm sure that just kind of also comes with time and age, but having different people to connect with on different things not only expands my village, but also my children's village. And they have so many people in their life that understand what has gone on in their life up until this point, being my OG friends who have been with me through it all. And then they also have the parents of their own friends, because I'm friendly with them. I always make an effort, a strong, strong effort to become friends with the parents of the friends that they're closest with, unless, like, there's like an absolute weirdo situation, which hasn't happened to me yet, but I do remember growing up that like one time my mom, I don't know if she was trying to be friendly with the mom or like what the deal was, but there was this one girl who lived close by and like, I'm not trying to be mean here, but she was a weirdo, okay? And I didn't want to have a play date with her. And I was like, what's your MO here? But luckily, what I'm saying here is that my kids haven't come home with any weirdo friends yet. So the parents have all been good. But I think that that's super important. I remember having friends, parents that were so instrumental in my life. One of them in particular, I think about probably daily. She had my best friends who were triplets and then another toddler at home. Like, I mean, they were all at home, but like 2 years older. And as I had children, I was like, how did she do this times three at the same time? And then plus one. I struggled with one. The first time I thought about her was probably when you were bottle feeding. And then the next time I thought about her was like this stage where your kid is throwing food on the floor and mealtime is such a goddamn mess that like you usually have to bathe them afterwards. I couldn't imagine the fucking mess that three babies throwing food could make. And going through life and parenting, I think of her so many times now, and I'm just like, how did she do it? And then I always say, if she can do it with three plus one, I can do it with the two. I got this. She is my motivation in parenting. So there are just so many people that become part of this village. And it's so nice to have all of these friends from different stages of your life that are supportive and can be a village to your kids. That's what I wanted to focus on today. I feel like I'm going to be shifting in a good way a little bit on my content. I am going to be focusing less on dating and things before I was in a relationship because I'm now in a relationship and my life is more than that at the moment. It's other things. And I just don't want to focus on that. If you want to hear funny dating stories, I have plenty of episodes on that. But I always like to say, like, I like to focus on the good. When you focus on the good gets better. And right now, I'm really enjoying the peace and the stability. And there's so much more to Young, Hot, and Divorced than dating after divorce. I've also thought a lot about how I really have been focusing on being a mother as a single mother, but there are so many other aspects of just motherhood in general that I would love to talk about and not kind of focus on the single aspect of it. I also don't really feel so much like a single mom anymore. I'm in this relationship where I feel like I have a lot of support and I don't consider myself to be quite as single as I was prior to this relationship. So I just wanted to give you a heads up there that if you're here for the dating tea and the funny stories, there might be one or two more sprinkled in. I can't predict the future exactly, but I just know that my focus going forward is going to be a little bit different. And I've been trying a couple of different approaches with this podcast, whether it be just video or audio or how I'm doing my outline or, I don't read from a script, but sometimes just not even having an idea of what I'm going to say and just going with the flow. And I think I've figured it out and I think I have a clearer path and strategy right now. And I'm going to roll with that because I feel like the last couple of episodes that I've done haven't been great because I've been trying different things. And that's just growth. So thank you for sticking it out with me and growing with me. And I feel like I really said what I wanted to say today. So I want to say to my friends who were mentioned in this episode and know that it was them, thank you so much for being such a good friend and sticking by me through all of this crazy shit that I put you through. Much appreciated. And to everybody else who's listening or watching, you guys know I appreciate you so, so much. Thank you so much for listening to Young, Hot, and Divorced. If you're not already following or subscribing wherever you're listening or watching, please do. And feel free to give it a 5-star rating. And like I always say, if you're not going to give it a 5-star rating, then just like don't, you don't need to. It's fine. Compliments only. Thank you guys so much for listening to Young, Hot, and Divorced. I'm Tori, and I'll catch you next week. Hope you have a great week.